I should have known that Tuesday would turn everything upside down. Andrea came home late, slipping through the door like a shadow, then plopped down on the worn-out sofa with that look, the one that screams, "Brace yourself, we need to talk." I was scrolling through my phone, pretending to care about a pointless news article, but I put it down immediately when she spoke. "We need to talk," she said. "Okay," I said, trying to sound calm. She took a deep breath like she was prepping for a marathon. "I've been thinking a lot about us. About me. I think I need some space." "Space?" I echoed, as if I'd just heard she wanted to move to Mars. "Yeah," she said. "I need to find out who I am without being someone's girlfriend, you know?" I didn't know, but I nodded anyway. "So I'm going to stay with Paige for a while, just temporarily, until I can sort some things out." That was Andrea's usual move, expecting me to argue, to beg her to stay, to prove I cared by refusing to let her go. Years of that dance. But I was drained. "Okay," I said. "Take all the space you need." She blinked. Relief, disappointment. Hard to tell. "Thank you for understanding," she said softly. That night I helped her pack. She kept sneaking glances at me like she expected me to break down or beg her to stay. I just folded T-shirts and filled boxes without a word. By 9, her car was loaded. "I'll text you," she said. "Sure," I replied. She hugged me and I hugged back. Then she left. I stood in the doorway watching her taillights vanish down the quiet street. The apartment felt different. Quieter. I locked the door and sank onto the couch. For the first time in months, I could breathe. Wednesday morning hit me like an unexpected gift. No alarm blaring, no one poking me awake with a million questions. At 6:30 sharp, my body just decided it was time to get up. I shuffled into the kitchen, brewed a strong coffee. Andrea always complained it was like drinking liquid fire. But this morning, I savored every bitter sip. Sitting at the kitchen table, I watched the quiet street below. Joggers pounding the pavement, dogs sniffing lampposts like they were solving world mysteries, neighbors exchanging the polite nods of suburban warriors. I realized I'd been holding my breath for years, waiting for the next critique, the next argument, or the next way I was messing up. Now nothing. Just silence. Breakfast was my own little rebellion. Eggs sunny side up, crispy bacon, and buttered toast. Andrea used to lecture me about cholesterol like I was trying to kill myself slowly. Not today. I drove to the office blasting music at full volume, something I hadn't dared do in forever. Around 10, Cole, my workmate and one of the few people who knew everything without judging, walked over. "You seem different today," he said, raising an eyebrow. "Different how?" I shrugged. "Lighter, maybe. Like you dropped a ton of baggage." "Maybe," I said, trying to sound casual. He nodded and walked off, sensing when to leave well enough alone. That evening I ordered fiery Indian curry. Andrea said spicy food was too messy, too greasy, too much. I devoured every bite, sauce dribbling down my chin, no one there to sigh or roll their eyes. I watched the game alone, no one sighing in the background about my wasting time. When 11 rolled around, I went to bed early, no waiting up for someone to want to talk about nothing for hours. I slept like a log. For the first time in half a year, I dreamt without waking up, gasping. And yet, in the back of my mind, a small voice whispered, "This peace. Can it last?" Thursday afternoon, my phone buzzed. The screen lit up with Andrea's name, making my heart skip, not out of hope, but curiosity. "How are you doing?" the text read. I stared at it, fingers hovering. 3 hours later, I typed, "I'm good. You?" "Miss you. Take all the time you need," came back almost immediately. I stared at those words. 3 dots blinked, then vanished. Silence. Later that night, Reed messaged, "Drinks later?" Reed, college buddy, best mate until Andrea turned him into a villain in our story. Andrea said he was a bad influence, reckless, the kind of guy you avoid if you want a normal life. I'd stopped reaching out. Too many awkward silences, too many looks. "Yeah, I'm in," I replied. Friday night at Murphy's pub felt like stepping into a time capsule. Reed was already nursing a pint when I walked in. "Where have you been hiding?" he grinned. "Life got busy. Too busy for beers." I ordered a cold one. "Andrea and I are on a break. Not sure if it's over or just paused." Reed raised an eyebrow. "When? 3 days ago? And you're here drinking with me? Most guys would be sobbing into a pizza." I smirked. "I did order pizza, just not crying." He laughed. "What happened?" "She needed space, to find herself." I gave it to her. Reed studied me. "That's either really mature or you're in denial." "Maybe both." We talked about the usual. Work, football, old college friends. Then, like a blast from the past, Reed brought up rock climbing. "Remember when we used to scale walls every weekend?" I remembered. Andrea called it dangerous, selfish, a waste of time. "Yeah," I said, feeling a rush of nostalgia. "Movement gym's still there. Let's hit it Saturday morning." The old me would have said no, worried about Andrea's reaction. But now... "What time?" I asked. 9 a.m., sharp," Reed grinned. "That's the spirit." Saturday morning, pulling into the parking lot of Movement Climbing Plus Fitness, my heart thudded. 2 years since I'd been here. The crash mats, the towering walls, familiar and intimidating. Reed was stretching by the entrance. "Ready to see if you can still climb?" My muscles remembered, even if they were rusty. By the end, arms trembling, I felt alive again. Reed clapped me on the back. "Welcome back, mate." As we left, I noticed her, a woman with dark hair tied back, scaling the advanced wall with grace and confidence. She moved like she owned the place. I didn't think much of it. Yet, Sunday morning was different. No blaring alarm, no nagging thoughts of what I should or shouldn't do. I made a proper breakfast. Eggs fried just how I liked, crispy bacon, thick buttered toast. Andrea always pushed those protein shakes she swore were better for me, but today I wanted the real deal. Sitting at the kitchen table, I ate slowly, savoring the quiet. No one rushing me, no sighs about calories or cholesterol. Later, I found my old guitar tucked away in the corner of the bedroom closet, covered in a thin layer of dust. I hadn't touched it in over a year. Andrea said my open mic nights were embarrassing, that I wasn't good enough to perform. I tuned it up, fingers fumbling over the strings at first, but soon finding the rhythm. It felt like reclaiming a piece of myself I'd lost. That evening, I did something small but significant. I turned off the read receipts for Andrea's number on my phone. She could still message me, but I wouldn't have to let her know instantly when I'd seen her texts. A tiny boundary, but mine. Monday at work, I surprised myself. I knocked out more tasks before lunch than I usually managed in a whole day. Projects I'd been avoiding suddenly seemed manageable, even exciting. Cole noticed. "What happened over the weekend?" he asked, leaning against the break room counter. "Cleared my head," I said, trying to sound casual. "Whatever it is, keep doing it." That night, Andrea sent me a message. "Can we talk soon?" I stared at it for a while, then typed back, "When you're ready. No rush." No reply. And truthfully, part of me didn't want to rush either. Tuesday marked 1 week since she left. Sitting with my coffee that morning, I made a mental list of all the things I'd stopped doing because of us. Rock climbing, playing guitar, seeing old friends like Reed, eating spicy food, making noise, taking up space. The list was longer than I expected. For the first time in years, I felt like I was starting to find myself again. Thursday evening, Reed and I were back at Movement Climbing Plus Fitness, our grips chalky and muscles humming with the familiar burn. The woman with the dark hair was there again, moving effortlessly up the wall, her form sharp and confident like a dancer on a stage. This time she approached us during a break. "Mind if I join you guys?" she asked, voice steady and warm. My heart did a little unexpected flip. Reed glanced at me, shrugged, and said, "Sure." She introduced herself as Morgan. She climbed better than both of us, graceful, strong, and focused. During a pause, she asked, "Getting back into it?" "Yeah," I admitted, wiping sweat from my brow. "Took a break for a while. One of those breaks you don't really choose." She smiled knowingly. "Been there. Good on you for coming back." We exchanged numbers, climbing partners, nothing more complicated. But something about her directness was refreshing. No games, no hidden meanings. Friday afternoon, my phone buzzed again, this time a message from Paige, Andrea's roommate. "Hey, Andrea's been asking about you. Everything okay?" I typed back, "Everything's fine. She asked for space, and I'm respecting that." Paige replied, "She thought you'd call by now." I read that line over and over. Thought I'd call, not because I wanted to, but because I was expected to. But Andrea had asked for space. I was trying to honor that. That weekend I went to the Black Cat, a local pub with a gritty charm, for open mic night. I hadn't been in 2 years. I signed up, nerves twisting in my stomach. My hands shook through the first song, but by the third I'd found my rhythm. Reed filmed it, posted it online, tagged the location. I didn't think about who might see it. "Sunday afternoon," Morgan messaged. "Coffee? Just coffee." We met at Brew & Co., a cozy little cafe with exposed brick and jazz playing softly in the background. 2 hours flew by as we talked, no pretense, no games. She spoke about an ex who played mind games. "I'm too old for hints." "Say what you mean." "Exactly," I said. She looked at me. "You're in a good place getting there." We made plans to climb Wednesday. For the first time, I felt like I was stepping into a new chapter, one where I could be myself again. Monday morning, I sat at my kitchen table, coffee in hand, and really noticed the silence. Not that awkward kind where you're waiting for someone to say something, but a calm, peaceful quiet. No rushing footsteps, no snide remarks about my weekend plans, no one needing to know every move I made. Just me. I pulled out my phone and started scrolling through photos from the past year. Every picture with Andrea showed me smiling, but my eyes told a different story. Tired, defeated, like I'd been carrying a weight I didn't know how to put down. Andrea, always perfectly posed, her smile practiced and flawless, like she was on a stage. There was one photo from a dinner party 6 months ago. I was at the end of the table, Andrea next to me, but turned away, deep in conversation with someone else. I was looking down at my plate, lost in my thoughts. I deleted the whole album, not out of anger, just because I didn't need those memories anymore. Tuesday at lunch, Cole cornered me. "Okay, spill it. What's going on?" "Your girlfriend moves out, says she needs space, and you're just..." "Okay." "She asked for space," I said. "I gave it to her." Cole shook his head. "Most people would be a mess. Maybe I was a mess before and just didn't know it." Later that day, Andrea texted, "Saw your open mic video. That was great." Translation: "You're doing fine without me." "Thanks," I typed back. "We should talk soon." No reply. That night, Quinn called. He'd been a good friend since I moved to Bristol 5 years ago. Married to Ivy, who was one of those people who kept everything effortlessly neat. "Hey, heard about you and Andrea. News travels fast in small towns," he joked. "I'm okay," I said, trying to sound convincing. "Good. Ivy wants to have you over for dinner this week." "Sure," I said. Thursday evening, Ivy's place was cozy, tucked into a quiet street. She greeted me warmly, no fuss, just genuine kindness. Over dinner, she asked the question Quinn probably warned her not to. So, what actually happened? I told her about Andrea's space request, my literal take on it, and the silence that followed. Ivy nodded slowly. And you're not chasing her? She told me not to. I'm respecting that. She smiled. Good for you, really. Really? If more people said what they meant and listened when others did, imagine how much easier life would be. Quinn raised his glass. I'll drink to that. That night I realized maybe I was finally starting to understand what respect really meant. Wednesday at the gym, Morgan asked the question I'd been dodging like a bad punch. So, are you seeing anyone? I hesitated. My girlfriend and I are on a break. She's finding herself. How long? She pressed, eyes steady. 3 weeks. She nodded slowly. And you're here, climbing and playing music. She asked for space, I said. Smart, she smiled. Either she figures it out, or you do. Something clicked inside me. Maybe I'd already figured it out. Thursday evening, my phone rang. It was Andrea's brother, Trevor. Hey man, Andrea's pretty upset, he said, voice low. She says you've moved on already. I'm just living my life, I replied. She asked for space to find herself. Didn't mean for you to actually leave her alone. Well, she should have said that, I said. There was a long pause. That's fair, he admitted. If she wants to talk, she knows how to reach you. Friday morning at work, I got pulled into a meeting with the senior team. They wanted updates on a project I'd been struggling with for 2 months. But somehow, in the last 3 weeks, I'd made more progress than the previous 8 weeks combined. This is excellent work, my boss said, smiling. Whatever you're doing differently, keep it up. After the meeting, Cole caught me in the break room. Seriously, what's going on with you? What do you mean? You're killing it at work, actually smiling. You turned down Sandra's drink invite because you had plans. When did that happen? I poured coffee. When I stopped living someone else's life. Cole leaned against the counter. My wife and I almost broke up 3 years ago. She said she needed space. I panicked, called her 20 times a day, showed up at her sister's place, made a fool of myself. What happened? She came back, but it took 6 months of therapy to undo the damage I did by not respecting her space. So you wish you'd done what I'm doing? I wish I'd been brave enough too. You're either going to get her back in a healthy way or find out you're better off. Either way, you win. That stuck with me. Boundaries, respect. Maybe this was the start of something new. Friday night, Quinn and Ivy invited me over for game night. I hadn't seen them in months. Andrea always had some excuse not to go. Quinn's sister, Blair, was visiting. She wasted no time. So what happened with Andrea? We're on a break, I said, keeping it simple. Who initiated? Her, said she needed to find herself. Blair studied me. And you? I'm letting her. That's either really secure or really done, Ivy said with a laugh. Blair smirked. I'm betting on done. I probably was. Later that night I couldn't sleep. Not from anxiety, just from thinking. I made a list on my phone of all the friends I'd lost touch with because of Andrea. Not just Reed. Connor, who she said was immature. Malik, who she called a bad influence. Ashley accused of flirting with me at a party. 12 people in total, friendships that faded because it was easier than dealing with Andrea's reactions. I started with Connor, sent a simple text. Hey, been a while. Want to grab lunch sometime? His reply came within minutes. Dude, yes. Thought you'd forgotten me. Never. Just got complicated. Say no more. Thursday work. See you then. I sent similar messages to 3 others, All responded within the hour. All said yes. Maybe that's what finding yourself really meant, not discovering someone new, but remembering who you used to be. Saturday, Reed, Morgan, and I spent the day climbing. Afterwards, we grabbed lunch at Stubbs, a local diner. Morgan mentioned she was done with people who didn't know what they wanted. Reed gave me a look. I didn't acknowledge it, but something shifted. Not disgust, just feeling seen. Sunday, Jess asked me to meet for coffee. She was closer to Andrea than me. She got straight to it. Andrea's struggling. What happened? She thought I'd fight for the relationship. She told me she needed space. I'm respecting that, but you know she didn't mean it like that. Jess looked frustrated. You're being difficult. I'm being literal. We didn't stay long. That evening I walked through the apartment, really looked at it. The throw pillows Andrea insisted on, the art she picked, the candles I never lit because she said they were decorative. The coffee table books about places she wanted to visit but never did. I'd lived here 2 years, but it didn't feel like mine. I started small, moved the couch back to where it was originally, better TV angle, put climbing gear in the closet where I could reach it, not hidden away. Hung my guitar on the wall mount I'd bought but hadn't installed because she said it looked tacky. By night's end, the place looked different, felt different. It felt like mine. Monday marked 3 weeks. 3 weeks without arguments, without feeling like I was constantly failing. That evening, Morgan texted, "Climbing tomorrow?" Then, a little later, "Or dinner?" I stared at my phone. This was a line. Cross it, and there was no going back. "Dinner sounds good," I replied. Her response was quick. "Wednesday, 7 p.m. See you then." Tuesday afternoon, Andrea finally broke the silence that had stretched for 3 weeks. "I think I'm ready to talk." I was in a meeting and didn't see the message for 2 hours. "About what?" I asked when I replied. "About us. About working on things. You said you needed to find yourself." "I have. I'm ready to come home." I stared at the words. Ready to come home. Like the apartment was still hers, like I'd been waiting. "Let's meet this weekend." "Saturday afternoon?" "Why not tonight?" "I have plans." The first time I'd ever said that. "What plans?" "Just plans." "Saturday works for you?" "Fine." "Where?" "Pablo's Coffee, 2 p.m. "I want to talk at home." "Public place. Take it or leave it." Another pause. "Fine." Wednesday evening dinner with Morgan at Root Down was different. Easy, no tension, no subtext. Just 2 people talking. She asked directly, "Did you hear from her? She wants to work on us." I'd been avoiding that thought. Saying it out loud made it real. I don't think there's an us to work on anymore. Morgan reached across the table, almost touched my hand, then pulled back. "That must be hard." "It should be, but it's not." We talked until the restaurant closed. In the parking lot, there was a moment. She leaned in slightly. I did too. Then she stopped. "Finish your conversation first," she said. I respected that. Thursday, my phone exploded. 47 texts from Andrea, flooding in like a storm. "Why are you being like this? Don't you care? I made a mistake. We can fix this. Please call me. Answer your phone." I responded once. "See you Saturday at 2. Pablo's Coffee." She called 6 times. I didn't answer. "Please call me." Saturday arrived. Reed called that evening. "You okay? You've been quiet today." Andrea sent me 47 texts. Jesus, what did they say? She said she made a mistake, that we can fix things, that I'm being cruel. Are you being cruel? I don't think so. She asked for space. I gave it to her. Now she wants me back on her terms. And you don't want that? No. Good. You know what your problem was? What? You were so busy being accommodating you forgot to have boundaries. My sister dated a guy like that. He bent over backward for her, never said no. She lost respect for him and pushed to find his line. Turns out he had none. She resented him. That's messed up. That's people. Everyone needs boundaries. You finally found yours. Took me years. Better late than never. After hanging up, I thought about that. Boundaries. I'd had them once before Andrea, before I started shrinking to fit her moods, needs, and endless demands for validation. Maybe this space was really about distancing from who I'd become, trying to keep her happy. Friday evening at Movement Climbing Plus Fitness, I was climbing with Reed and Morgan when Andrea showed up, walking through the lobby like she owned the place. Reed spotted her first. "Isn't that Andrea?" She came inside, eyes sharp. "Who's this?" Looking at Morgan. "Andrea, this is Morgan and Reed. We climbed together." "How long?" "A couple of weeks," Morgan said honestly. Andrea's face darkened. "I knew it. You've been seeing someone. You asked for space. I gave it to you." "That's not what I meant." "Then you should have been clearer," I said. "I'll see you tomorrow at 2. I walked back to the wall. Andrea stood frozen a moment, then left. Morgan looked at me. "You okay?" "Yeah." Reed said nothing. Didn't need to. Saturday at 2 p.m., I arrived at Pablo's Coffee. Andrea was already there, looking like she'd rehearsed every word. "Thank you for meeting me," she said. "You wanted to talk. I've done a lot of thinking. I know I hurt you by leaving." "You didn't hurt me. You asked for what you needed. I gave it to you. But I didn't mean for you to give up on us." "I didn't give up. I gave you exactly what you asked for." "That's not what I meant." "How would I know that?" "Because you're supposed to fight for us, show you care." "I do care. That's why I respected your words." "That's not respect, that's giving up." "No, giving up is ignoring what you said and doing what I wanted." "But I wanted you to ignore it." "Then why say it?" "Because I needed to know you'd fight for me." I set my coffee down. "That's manipulation. That's love." "No, it's not." Long silence, the hum of other tables pretending not to listen. "So that's it?" she asked. "You're done?" "You said you needed to find yourself. Sounds like you did." "I found myself too. With that girl from the gym. This isn't about her." "So there is something going on." "I met someone who says what she means. It's refreshing." Andrea's eyes brimmed with tears. "I can change. I can communicate better." "Maybe. But I don't want to go back to walking on eggshells." "When did you walk on eggshells?" "I stopped climbing because you thought it was dangerous. Stopped playing music because you found it embarrassing. Stopped seeing friends you didn't like. 4 years of making myself smaller to keep you comfortable." "I never asked you to do that." "You didn't have to. Your reactions said it all." "So you're choosing her over me?" "I'm choosing myself." Andrea stared. "What if I hadn't asked for space?" "I'd probably still be shrinking. But you did ask, and it gave me perspective. I made a mistake. Maybe, but an honest one." I stood. "I'll have your things packed by Thursday. Text me when you want to pick them up." I left her sitting there. Sunday I packed Andrea's things, her shampoo, fancy face creams, carefully folded clothes. Not out of love, but respect. I found a box of photos under the bed. Weddings, trips, holiday parties where I smiled and she looked distant. I boxed them up and let her decide. The kitchen held memories we shared, but those stayed. By evening, her life was stacked by the door, ready to go. I called Morgan. "It's done. How do you feel?" "Lighter." Monday, Andrea texted, "Can I get my things Thursday?" "Works for me, 6 p.m. "Fine." That evening, Morgan and I went out for dinner. A real date. No ambiguities. She kissed me in the parking lot. "I like that you say what you mean," she said. "Right back at you." Thursday at 6, the doorbell rang. Andrea stood there, that look. the one people get when they brace for hard truths. Then she saw Morgan on the couch, visible through the doorway. Andrea froze. What is she doing here? Helping me pack your things. This is inappropriate. You asked when I was available. This was. Morgan walked over with a box. Here, last of your bathroom stuff. Andrea stared. Morgan continued, the kitchen items are in those 2 boxes. Bedroom stuff is in the hallway. You went through my things. We packed them. That's what you came for, I said. Andrea looked at Morgan. Really? Looked at her. So this is her, the girl who already found herself. Morgan smiled politely, extended her hand. I'm Morgan. Nice to meet you. Andrea didn't take it. You moved on that fast. You asked for space. I took it. This is why you didn't fight for us. No, I didn't fight because you told me not to. Morgan picked up 2 boxes. These can go in your car. I'll help you load them. I don't need your help. Suit yourself. Morgan carried them down anyway. Andrea turned to me. Please, we can fix this. There's nothing to fix. You wanted space. You got it. I made a mistake. Maybe. But it was your mistake. You're choosing her. I'm choosing myself. She fits who I am now. Andrea's eyes filled. I can't believe you're doing this. You did this, I said gently. I respected what you said. Morgan returned. That's everything in your car? She handed Andrea her house key. You left this on the counter. Andrea took it, stared at us. You two deserve each other. She walked out. I closed the door, exhaled long and slow. You okay? Morgan asked. Yeah, that was intense. It was necessary. She's going to tell people you cheated. I didn't. Even if she does, people who matter will know the truth. Morgan stepped closer. I matter. You're standing here, aren't you? 6 weeks later, I was back at Movement, climbing with Morgan. My strength had improved. We planned a weekend hike. You seem happy, she said. I am. Because of me? Because of me, she laughed. I'll take it. 3 months after everything ended, Reed had a birthday party. Mutual friends gathered. Paige approached me in the kitchen. Andrea says you left her for Morgan. She left first, said she needed to find herself, said space. I gave her space. You could have fought for her. Why fight someone who told me to step back? Paige walked away, frustrated. Quinn, nearby, said, People believe what they want. Let them. Months later, Trevor texted, Hey man, I was wrong. Andrea told me her side. I talked to others, got the full picture. Is it okay? No, I should have listened better. You did the right thing. Thanks. For what it's worth, she's seeing someone new. Guy seems okay. Maybe she learned something. I hope so. You seem good. I am. Take care. That conversation felt like a door closing, not slamming, just a quiet click. 6 months later, I ran into Andrea at the supermarket. She froze when she saw me. I nodded politely and walked on. Morgan noticed. Was that her? Yeah. You okay? I'm good. And I meant it. 9 months later, I was back at the Black Cat open mic night, playing regularly. I wrote a new song about everything. Not bitter, just honest. The lyrics went, You said go, I said okay, you meant stay. I walked away. Words matter when you say them out loud. Can't blame me for believing you now. People loved it. Reed leaned over during applause. That's gonna piss some people off. Good, I said. Maybe they'll learn to say what they mean. 1 year later, Morgan and I hiked Rocky Mountain National Park. The summit view was breathtaking. Do you ever wonder what would have happened if she hadn't asked for space? She asked. I'd probably still be shrinking, walking on eggshells, being someone I'm not. So you're glad she asked? I'm glad I took her seriously. We stood in the crisp mountain air. She wanted to find herself. I gave her all the space in the world. Morgan smiled. And you found yourself in the process. Exactly. Words mean something. When someone tells you what they need, you can respect it or ignore it. I chose respect. She chose to test me. We both got what we asked for in the end, just not how we expected.